I would encourage folks to think about ways that they can get back into some sort of routine for sleep. That does not necessarily mean having to strictly adhere to bedtime and awake time if that's not quite where you're at as part of this grieving process, but allowing yourself to have some time to wind down before you actually physically get into bed, right? Maybe that's some light reading instead of watching TV, right? We also don't want to watch TV in bed for the same reasons we talked about, right? So watching TV on the couch, turning the TV off an hour beforehand, reading, listening to music, practicing yoga, stretching, whatever it might be, to help you unwind. It could also be, keeping a regular wake time, right? Like if that was something that you usually kind of were pretty regular with, that's something that you could try to jump back into, and that's going to help fuel the rest of the day and the night.
So I'm a big one with checking in with our body and our physical sensations. And that tends to look different for everybody, right? So for kids, that might be playing with fidgets, right? That might be, I have this extra energy because something is different and somebody I love died and I'm not sure where to put it. For a teenager, that might look like I need to put on some loud music and just be left alone to kind of check in with myself. um, for an adult, that might look like quiet reflection. I'm a big meditator and a big yoga person. But that, physical movement, some kind of physical movement today, even if that's a walk around the block, right? Just to be able to say, this is my body, I'm in it, I can let it tell me what it needs right now in my grief. And checking in with yourself. And maybe that means nutrition. Maybe that means extra rest. Maybe that means a good stretch or a good session with some loud music or, but in reality, right, if I were going to encourage people to do something right now, it would be to find a way to check in with their bodies and just kind of listen to what does my body need right now in my early grief. Let it tell me. And if tears come up, that's cool too.
Well, it's like where they are in their grief. And I always say, gosh, when you think about life, there's so many facets about a person. But like I said, their relationship to them. So I would say what they shared, keep honoring it. Whether that's they shared the same favorite kind of food, have a meal and talk about them, journal about them. They need a little bit more space in their grief. I always believe in grounding and kind of meditating and just kind of feeling their essence and just deep thought. I think people get really busy in their head on how they should grieve. Sometimes it's just as simple as just sitting there with your thoughts and just thinking about them and writing it down how you're feeling in that way.
What I'd like to tell people is in any journey to clarity, it starts with, changing or seeing your habits, changing your habits. So if there's anything you hear, like if you hear this podcast and you're like, this is it, this is what I want, you need to listen to it over and over and over and over again. There was a CD by John Kabat-Zinn. Someone gave me 10 years into my journey. And even before I practiced Buddhism, I knew the power of repetition. And I just listened to it, because if you only listen to something once, you think that's it. Your brain, again, will be like, that's not in the program, and it'll be gone. So you need to, if there's something you want to bring into your life, a lesson, a teaching, an understanding, just listen to it, practice it over and over and over, and it will start to become part of your life.
It's just really go above and beyond to take care of yourself, mentally and physically. I really think like just taking care of yourself and doing some of those like little rituals are just really important. And I would say the thing that's helped me, it was really hard in the beginning, and I've almost cracked 3 times in the last 30 minutes, is just I like to talk about him to people. I like to tell stories about him. I found thousands of Baxter's puppy photos that I thought I had lost, and so I had all those and all these photos pouring in from friends and family, people I haven't seen in years. It really helped because I would like see photo and all of a sudden this memory would like be really strong in my head. Something I did not remember. Oh, I didn't remember that. And if you get to like go watch the movie of their life, I call it, and just sort of like relive those moments, like like a TV montage, I mean, it really helps. So I started like cataloging his life. I started putting them into folders, and now I have like this full thing of his life. I can go look at any year and think about trips we took, and we had some photos of him framed and put up in the house, and we had some art made of him. So we just did a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, I would say step 1 is taking care of yourself, and step 2 is whether it's a scrapbook, whether it's digital, just go put something together that celebrates the great times, because man, I still struggle. I still am so hung up on the final week and the issues we had that week that sometimes it clouds the 12 and a half amazing years we had together with, every day was amazing.
I always say, like, the first thing for me is find who your people are. So whether it's a combination of these, whether you're going to therapy, whether you're going to a support group, you're going to a grief counselor, you're finding, like I did, are surviving the now, like find your people, because that for me has been a lifesaver. And again, like I said, from day one, I'm super fortunate. I had great people around me already. So, but it's finding what else you need and paying attention to those small moments, because when you're in this, when this anticipatory grief is it's so unbelievable, right? Like you're losing things all the time. And so figure out what you need and really ask for it.